Hello, and welcome to Inside the Video Store. I'm Dave Wain. I am the owner and curator of Snips Movies, one of the last remaining movie rental stores in the UK. Woohoo! Thank you for last week. It was a bit indulgent having Matty face to face and sort of talking about ourselves for pretty much an hour. So thank you for persevering with that. Thank you for watching it. A lot of you did, which is very humbling. But yeah, back to normal this week. And I just thought last week you might like something. Like I say, I was going up to the northeast, which is 3 hours there and 3 hours back, and I just wouldn't have had time to do a video store episode. And I thought, well, I'd rather do something than nothing at all, so that it might give you a good opportunity to introduce you to Matty and see what he's about, and in turn learn a little bit more about me and you know what I do aside from sort of sit behind this counter talking about movies. So yeah, thank you for watching that, and thank you for not complaining in your droves. So this week, like I said, last week we didn't have much coming in. It was the first week in August. It wasn't really a bounty of stuff. This week, though, is the complete opposite. This week is a bounty of new arrivals. I've got a stack of new releases. There's some great film on loans. What's in the box is well, there's a couple of piles of really, really good stuff to talk about. And I'd like to go through the messages, the comments from 2 weeks ago, because there's some really good stuff there. And it seems a shame for all of you who commented to have your words ignored just for a frivolous trip up to the northeast to record a commentary for 88 films. Yes, so let's get cracking, because there is a lot to get through. So we're going to have a look at this week's new releases, which there are plenty. It's an interesting week, to be honest, interesting split. As you know, most weeks tends to be half a dozen contemporary releases and the rest boutiques. This week it is all boutiques. It is a universally completely Blu-ray week. There is one contemporary release here, but it's by a boutique label, and that's from Arrow Video. It's a film called Perpetrator, a Jennifer Reeder film. This looks really, really interesting. I mean, I'll read the description to you. It states that Perpetrator is a brilliantly original and twisted take on female suppression, dangerous male predators, and the pains of adolescence. It sounds amazing. It does sound amazing. So, yeah, can't wait to take a look at this. It's billed as a feminist coming-of-age drama with serial killer and supernatural fantasy genres. Wonderful. Bava-esque colors. Sounds dreamy. Yeah, so I'll take a look at that in the next few days. Looks great. So yeah, well done, Arrow Video. Not so well done, Arrow Video, though. I pre-ordered The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly special edition Blu-ray a good week in advance, which, silly me, I thought that would have been plenty of time. And they cancelled it. Which is a bit of a kicker, especially as I have the other two both in that special edition format. I could pull some strings, probably with a few other producers I know at Arrow, but I don't want to do that because they will have a set amount reserved to one side, but they will be for people who have had copies damaged or faulty or missing, so I don't want to take one of those. If anyone does see a random copy in HMV lurking around, even CEX to some degree, Blu-ray, not 4K, please let me know, and I will speak to you in private. That'd be great. Oh, and speaking of which, speaking of customers on their travels, massive thanks to I think it was Aunt Mumford, wasn't it? It was Aunt Mumford who gave me a message on Sunday morning to say that he had spotted a copy of the lesser seen Susan's Plan, the John Landis film. As some of you may know, one of my customers accidentally did the old, thing where they pulled the disc out of the clasp and they a little bit too heavy-handed, and it snapped in two. It does happen from time to time, maybe once every 3 years with a DVD. Perhaps they get a bit brittle as they get older. So, but Ant was very kind. He messaged me on Sunday morning. He said, Dave, I spotted a Susan's Plan in CEX. They're going for 50 quid a piece, out of print on eBay. He saw it for a tenner. Amazing. I've ordered it. It may be in that stack there. Fingers crossed. But yeah, that's great. So thank you, Anthony. I really do appreciate that. Like I said, it's not a movie that rents out very often. But as a bit of a John Landis fan, I'm just glad to have that complete collection all together. Okie dokie, let's move on. So the boutiques, well, there's 3 from Indicator. They did have 4 out, but one of the 4, the 4th film, was one I picked up from Imprint a few months back, which was The Liberation of L.Q. Jones. Great film, but I have it here from Imprint in a fine Blu-ray. There's no point in double dipping. So what do we got? We have Deborah Carr and David Niven in Bonjour Tristesse. We have Bette Davis in Storm Center, which has a bit of a communism theme rippling through it. Sounds fascinating. And finally, we have Al Pacino in a Norman Jewison film from 1979. It's And Justice for All. This one looks really interesting. It's got a great cast. Jack Warden, John Forsyth, Lee Strasberg, and written by Barry Levinson, no less. So, yeah, I'll be looking forward to that one. Some good stuff there from Indicator. I like the box set weeks, but it's nice to have the individual weeks as well. Speaking of Indicator box sets, they've got a fair bit of Giallo coming out soon. And I think the first month of their Giallo project, I think I have them both. One came in on the Forgotten Gialli box set from Vinegar Syndrome, and the other one they're releasing I've got from an 88 Blu-ray. And I'm happy with that. There's no point in upgrading a Blu-ray to a Blu-ray. Even with a restoration, I think the initial Blu-ray, maybe a 2K restoration, was absolutely adequate. So I'm seeing that a lot now. As licenses kind of expire, with much of the Italian stuff, it is getting repressed. And like I say, I'm going to be really strict with double dipping. I think the money can be spent a lot better here, in any case. A couple in from Indicator, Radiance rather. Good week from Radiance. There's a double bill of Polar films, French cop thrillers. We have The Inquisitor and Deadly Circuit. These are from 1981 and 1983. A very, very tasty looking double bill there. Yeah, very cool indeed. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to those. That's from Radiance. Also from Radiance this week is Senso. That's the Luchino Visconti film from 1954. 2 cuts on this film, on this disc. 3 versions of the film, rather, and a feature-length documentary on Visconti. Great. Costume drama. Lush, lavish. But yeah, very nice indeed. Always good to get some more Visconti in. And finally from Radiance this week is Volume 2 of the Shinobi sets. First volume hasn't been rented a massive amount of time, but I couldn't refuse this. I mean, this is great. More ninja action. Brilliant. Another three ninja films. What have we got? We have Siege. We have Return of Mist Saizo. And we have The Last Eager Spy. All cool ninja films from 1964 and 1965. That's the second Shinobi volume. Volume 1 is currently in stock on Blu-ray. They will fit very nicely together, very snugly indeed. 2 from Eureka this week. Well, a little bit more than 2, to be honest. They put out a Low Y triple header. Low Y, of course, found success in his collaborations with Bruce Lee. And here we have a threesome of wuxia. We have The Black Butterfly, we have Death Valley, and we have Vengeance of a Snow Girl. All out this week from Eureka. These are from 1968 and 1971. Also, this looks really interesting. I've never seen this film. I'm sure you have. It's a Claire Denis film. It's called Trouble Every Day. 2001, Vincent Gallo, and it's described as an erotically charged exploration of our darkest human desires, and a key film in what later became known as the New French Extremity Movement. New French Extremity Movement, we're talking Frontiers, we're talking Martyrs, we're talking Raw, and Inside, of course, and a handful more. Into the Criterion Collection this week is Shoeshine. This is in on a dual format disc of 4K UHD and Blu-ray. It is, of course, Vittorio De Sica's classic film. I had it in on DVD for a number of years as part of the Masters of Cinema collection, but good to get that upgrade. Finally, I can retire another one of my Kurosawa DVDs. It's that one, Hidden Fortress. Only, what have we got left? Redbeard, Desert Uzala, Kagamusha. Because Hidden Fortress is out on Blu-ray and 4K UHD, if you so desire, from BFI this week. A very nice edition indeed. Great to have that in. So that's excellent. It's such a hugely popular section, that Kurosawa section. And finally, two from not so boutique labels, but still both very interesting releases. This one came out from Fun City Editions in America, but here it's just got a bare bones release, courtesy of Final Cut Entertainment. Still, good to have it here. It's almost been forgotten. It is the Robert De Niro, Meryl Streep film, Falling in Love. Harvey Keitel's in this as well, along with Diane Weist. So it's a great cast. I did see this back in the day. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. But yeah, that's very cool indeed. And also, we have Michael Winner film. Michael Winner is so underrepresented, really. You know, where's Parting Shots on Blu-ray? Where's Death Weekend on Blu-ray? Dirty Weekend, rather, on Blu-ray. Should have those. We have Hannibal Brooks, which stars Oliver Reed, Kelsey Priest, and a top billing, a rare top billing from Michael J. Pollard. The great Michael J. Pollard. This has also a screenplay by Dick Clement and Ian LaFrenne, who you may know from scripting the great British comedy Still Crazy, which just went out last week, I think. So yeah, that is this week's new release. Some good stuff there. Some good stuff there. A quality week, and there's some good stuff coming in next week as well. What's been going out, though? What's been going out? I know you're keen to know. I don't know if this has been out, to be honest, since we've been doing this thing. I know it kind of hasn't been out for a while because it did well initially. It is The Greasy Strangler. Everyone's seen this, hasn't it? If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. It's an immense film. I love it to pieces. It hasn't been out for a while, so it might be on that verge of just becoming a little bit forgotten. But it's great. Produced by Elijah Wood. And Ben Wheatley served as executive producer as well. It's indescribable, but it is an amazing piece of work. That is The Greasy Strangler. Check it out. Good to see some mumblecore renting out this week. The Puffy Chair, one of my favorites in the mumblecore movement. A film, of course, by Mark and Jay Duplass. There we go, Puffy Chair. Speaking of films that haven't got good releases in this country, I'm still wheeling out this old DVD of 187 from Holland, which is nutty. I don't know why this film hasn't received a half-decent release in this country. It's a brilliant film, really powerful. I mean, I have a fetish for high school teacher films as it is. What did I see this week? Detention with Dolph Lundgren. I'm just started work on an Arrow video project, a huge Arrow video project. I'm sure you can guess what it is. And yeah, so yeah, just doing some little bits on that. But yeah, 187 should have a really good release. But never mind. We lost the great Terence Stamp this week. Great actor. So immediately, of course, his film started renting. The first one to go out with Joseph Losey's film, Modesty Blaze. What a film it is. But yeah, so I mean, where would you even begin with watching a Terence Stamp film? I don't know. There's so many good ones. Probably The Limey for me, but good to see Modesty Blaze going out. It's not the most popular film, but maybe we might have a few more people checking it out now. It's great to see. Also, someone that died this week was certainly a producer who shaped a lot of my taste. Richard Pepin. Richard Pepin was, of course, the P in PM Entertainment. PM Entertainment, if you don't know, produced 100 movies in the 1990s, all, well, majority of which were high octane action movies, low budget, but very, very, very effective. They're great. There's a PM Entertainment section on this top shelf just in front of me here, just to the side of the counter. If you want to dip into that, let me know and I will point you in the right direction. There's some great films there. And also, I've just begun a deal with, I've been dealing directly with the licensor, the German licensor of PM Entertainment Films, who is supplying me with some great Blu-rays of some choice cuts from the PM Entertainment catalog, which are due in sometime next week, I think, which would be great to see. We've never had any PM Entertainment on Blu-ray. For some reason, American and British companies don't seem to be too interested, but there's some really, really good stuff there. Thank God for the Germans, who are, yeah, they've got their eye on quite a number of titles, so I will point those out to you in future weeks. But yeah, good old Rick Pepin, a great producer of some iconic films. Night of the Living Dead. No, not that one. This is the 1990 version, the Tom Savini version. It went out this week on Blu-ray from Umbrella, but it is coming out in this country on a very tasty looking steelbook, a 4K edition, no less, which I think it's got a different cut on there as well. But yeah, that should be very nice indeed. Good to see the second run films flying out so well, which is just brilliant. The most popular of which is undoubtedly The Cremator, which I think is out this week for the third time in as many weeks, which is brilliant. So good to see that. So yeah, The Cremator out on loan. 13 inches. Speak for yourself. With an Attitude. Dollman is out on loan, which is great. Is anyone going to pick up that 101 Films collection of the Dollman films? I'm not personally. I've got all the films individually from Full Moon, and obviously I would be begrudged to spend my cash with 101. But I must admit, it's a very tasty looking set in the way it's been designed. Good to see Mirror Mirror going out this week. I think Neil rented that one. One of 4 films, 1 film and 3 sequels. There is a Blu-ray of this, I think, existing in America. Always been tempted to pick it up. But they're not a bad little series of films, to be honest. They're not bad. They're not bad. Finally, out this week, Fear Clinic. Fear Clinic doesn't go out too much. It is, of course, from directed by the late, great Robert Hall. A really good FX guy. Died far too young. He made the 2 Laid to Rest films. Don't know if you've seen them. Really, really first-class slasher movies. I do recommend the first Laid to Rest film, not just for Thomas Dekker, who is excellent in the lead role, but they're good. They are good slasher movies. And Fear Clinic isn't bad. Robert Englund's in it, and Thomas Dekker as well. Okie dokie. That's that. Let's have a look at what's in the box this week. Quite a few bits in, to be honest. Which I'm pretty satisfied with. What should we do first? Let's do Second Sight first, which is pretty cool. As you know, one of the biggest challenges here is upgrading. 13,000 DVDs. I can't upgrade them all. So it's cherry picking which ones to upgrade and taking opportunities, sales, things like that, to upgrade films. Just past 5,000 Blu-rays in stock, which is nice. It's more than a quarter of the stock. Um, Actually, we're just short of 19,000 titles. I think we should pass that next week, which is very cool, which means we're only 2,000 titles off becoming the best stocked archive of rentable films in the UK, which should be a cool accolade to have. So yeah, this week I went for the Second Sight sale. All of these are first-class horror movies, arguably some of the most rented horror movies in my horror movie section. So I thought, well, I'm not a Second Sight special edition guy. I know some of you are. I know some of you like these chunky box sets for 40, 45 quid. Just can't justify it. I'm never going to look at a postcard. I'm going to open a poster. Maybe a book club, but some of the Second Sight booklets, it's bloody, it's print for the sight impaired almost. It's, big, bold letters. So I personally, I don't think they represent value for money, but I can understand people wanting them on their shelf. It is a very nice looking case. But for me, obviously trying to get a profitable thing out of this, I have to kind of find the best price. And these were all £8, £9, and £10, which was a no-brainer. They're all upgrades. I have them all on DVD. But like I say, most of these are very, very strong renters, so it makes sense to upgrade. The first three we've just alluded to. With the new French Extremities, we have upgrades to Raw. Brilliant film, so powerful. An upgrade to Inside, again, just a supreme. Like I say, I stand by pretty much all of these films as being first class. And Frontiers, again, a stunning piece of work. Three of those, all French, all absolutely fantastic, and all will be going right there. So pleased to have those, because I've already got High Tension from Second Sight. So yeah, they will sit in there very nicely indeed. Okay, that's those three. Now, a film I didn't like when I first saw it, and I've been threatening a rewatch ever since, and that's The Rich, Robert Eggers' film. I will have another look at it, especially now it's on Blu-ray. But I think a few of you felt that way, where you weren't too keen first time around, but you have gradually warmed to it as time has gone on. So yeah, good to have that. One I have watched this past week is Lake Mungo, which is still, hands down, a marvelous piece of cinema. Truly, truly chilling. Yeah, I am a big fan of that film. Good to see it upgraded to Blu-ray. It Follows. Nice to get a Blu-ray of that. Still a regular renter. Green Room, which has, of course, the late great Anton Yelkin. Good film. Did do well. Jeremy Saulnier. Murder Room. Wasn't that going to come out on Murder Party? Wasn't that going to come out on Blu-ray at some point? Did it come out? Did I miss that? Maybe not. I don't know. From Ty West, I have The Sacrament. Great film. Do love that to bits. One of my I just love this film. This is probably my top 20 of all time. It's Anna and the Apocalypse. It's such good fun. And you get the theatrical cut here, and you get the extended cut in a double disc edition. Brilliant. Upgrade. Lee Wanell's film. Very good indeed. Very good fun. And a perennial renter again. Revenge. Good to see. Another great filmmaker. So yeah, brilliant. So I'm really, really pleased with that stash from Second Sight. I think they're all absolutely first-class films, and it's good to have them in a better, more durable format. Next up, for those of you who know me will know I have a fetish for TV movies. It was ingrained into me as a child, with my mum watching, slightly soapy TV movies in the afternoon, mainly with Donna Mills and people like that. And Imprinter are doing some great work with putting these out on Blu-ray. I got the first two box sets in earlier on this year. Collection 1. featured an excellent film called Scream Pretty Peggy, which had Bette Davis in it. Two was a bit of a grim one, wasn't it? We had the film of the rapist, a film about a paedophile, and a film about an alcoholic. So that's for the depressives amongst you. Um, so yeah, they're the first two volumes. Volume 3 is out now. Really pleased to get it in, and also predominantly because it contains the mega weepy Brian song. Brian's song. They remade this in about 2000, I think, but the original is just phenomenal. And yeah, you will cry your leg off. James Caan and Billy D. Williams. Brilliant stuff. Just a great true story. Also, we have A Matter of Wife and Death with Rod Taylor. And we also have Fame is the Name of the Game with Anthony Franciosa and Jack Klugman and Robert Duvall. Good cast. Cool. Yeah, so that's the next volume of the TV movies. Great to see. I think that's a great collection. And it's really good to see these getting some attention at long last. TV movies have been so unfairly treated, I think, on this second wave of physical media, Blu-ray and above. So it's nice to see some coming out. Liam Regan is releasing some films. I love his company mantra. I don't know if you're aware of it. His company is Refuse Films. And this says, Refuse Films is an independent Blu-ray label that produces and distributes transgressive, subversive, and repugnant movies for those who crave alternate cinema. And it's true. So many people crave alternative cinema. And he has delivered in spades with the release of Cat Sick Blues, a truly disturbing film, which if you're craving the image of a man in a papier-mâché hat wearing a strap-on, then this may be the film for you. I watched it last night. It is truly disgraceful and disgusting, and it's great. It's darkly comical. It's really, well, as he says in his spiel, transgressive. I thought it was very interesting indeed. Really well made. Australian, I think it is. But yeah, that was great. So yeah, Cat Sick Blues from 2016. Good to see. His second release is Off Ramp. That's a film by Nathan Tate. This is really quite new. This is 2024. And it's about a couple of clowns, I think. Oh, lovable degenerate juggalos. Yeah, and they're off. They're off to a gathering of juggalos. Yeah, encountering a psychotic sheriff, a trailer park princess, occult rednecks, and a cop tripping on military-grade LSD. Fantastic, that's what we want. So yeah, there we go. That's Off Ramp, a film by Nathan Tate. That's the first two. There's a third one coming out. I think it should be in stock this week, which is a slightly older film that I forget the name of. It comes from 1996, I think. But either way, it's the first in a growing line from Liam, where he hopes to harness some of the great indie films from the last 20 years or so that haven't really got much attention. I've seen a list of what he's putting out, and there's some very, very good films in it, which I can't wait for him to put on Blu-ray, especially if he pays that much attention to create such definitive editions. They should be absolutely fantastic. Customer asked me for Demon Lover recently, and I happen to notice that it's in this Olivier Assayas box set from Arrow, which I, for some reason, didn't pick up. So here it is. We have a foursome of Olivier Assayas films. We have Disorder, Winter's Child, Irma Vep, and of course the aforementioned Demon Lover. So that's a great set and doubles my quantity of Olivier Assayas films in the store. Finally, oh no, not so finally, but big thank you to a superb, incredibly considerate customer called Dylan, who donated a few good little things a few weeks back, and he's been in again to donate some things he spotted are missing from the Snips database, and he felt, yeah, you need to have these as part of the archive here. Humbled to get these in, he donated Criterion edition of Alfonso Cuarón's Roma. I had it on DVD, but this Blu-ray is just the mutt's nuts. Martin Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ, which again I had on DVD, but you got to get the Criterion version. Another Criterion, La Jetty, which for some reason, mad though it may sound, didn't have it. Do now. Thanks to Dylan. Brilliant. And perhaps the most mind-blowing donation of all is this BFI set of Alain Rob Grillet. 6 films of his from 1963 to 1974, which also includes Trans-Europe Express. Amazing. Just an amazing donation. So cool to have these finally in stock at Snips. Brilliant. What a lovely, lovely gesture. Okay, quickly, a couple of tapes came in. What do we got? So perhaps the most interesting one is Wired, The Laughs and Fast Times of John Belushi. I don't know if you know much about this film. Bob Woodward, who was the Watergate guy, he broke Watergate. Bob Woodward wrote a book called Wired, published a year and a half after John Belushi died of an overdose. It was it was an all right book, but it kind of didn't tell the full story. So they wanted to make a film of it for some reason, but the film went so far, the film went just nutty. Film just went absolutely nutty. It's very, very tabloidy. It's very exploitative. It leaves a bit of a bad taste in the mouth, to be honest. Dan Aykroyd pretty much used up all his contacts in Hollywood to suppress the film. They eventually got it out through a minor distributor. All the big studios ignored it. It bombed at the box office, taking around about $1 million. It came out on VHS and Laserdisc, but since then, it has never been on any other format. No DVD, no Blu-ray, no streaming. So you're unlikely to see this anywhere apart from VHS, which is the reason I've got it in. So is it a good film? Not particularly, but it is quite culturally significant, to be honest. Lots and lots of stories around this film that I could bore you with for hours. One of my favorites is one of my favorite character actors of all time is J.T. Walsh. Love him to bits. Brilliant actor. He's in this film. He plays Bob Woodward. Dan Aykroyd wasn't too happy about that. Dan Aykroyd films Loose Cannons with Gene Hackman. Not the greatest film, but I love it. I think it's hysterical. 2 days into Loose Cannons, Dan Aykroyd realizes that J.T. Walsh is in a supporting role in the film. Goes off his trolley, has him removed from the film to the cost of $125K to the studio, and he's replaced by another actor. So yeah, this runs deep with a few of these guys. But still interesting and important to have it in on VHS. Speaking of Belushi, we have Jim Belushi in Traces of Red, which is a fairly decent neo-noir, to be honest, which he stars with Lorraine Bracco. Da Vinci's War is of no interest whatsoever to most of you. However, to me, I'm quite interested in this because it was directed by Raymond Martino. Raymond Martino was dating Anna Nicole Smith for about a year. I have a story about Raymond Martino, a very X-rated story about Raymond Martino on the set of the Anna Nicole Smith skyscraper, and a very I won't go there. It's a kid show. But yeah, so I was quite curious to see his first film, which is Da Vinci's War, which features Joey Travolta and Michael Nouri. Yeah, I would check that out. I don't think anyone else will, but there we go. It's not around anywhere, so you got to get these things. Also, I do like Kevin S. Tenney, Night of the Demons, stuff like that. Many great horror movies, and this was one of his minor films that came out from Live Entertainment. A sequel to the Charlie Sheen film, The Arrival. This is the second Arrival. Decent little sci-fi, and again, it's handy to have these things in on tape before they disappear forever, which they might do, you know. Don't write it off. Don't write it off. Okie dokie. What do we got? I'm gonna open some post and bore you. So if you're ready for some tedious post opening. Yeah. So, like I said to you last week, it was a minor week. Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was a massive letdown. One of the releases I did get in was Finis Terre, which is 1929. It's a French silent film, almost a precursor to Robert Eggers' The Lighthouse in some respects. It seems to have that vibe, 3 men marooned off the coast of Brittany. It looks quite interesting. So it's rented out on loan at the moment. I think Nathan's rented it. But looking forward to that. Here's another tape, because I'm seemingly going through a phase. What have we got? Now, this is interesting. Again, one of those films that just has no release anywhere. I think there may have been a European DVD 2 decades ago. But in this country and in the US, it's not streaming, bafflingly. And it's a half-decent little film. It's Prince Valiant. It's Anthony Hickox's film. Directed by Anthony Hickox, the late, great Anthony Hickox. You got Stephen Moyer, you got Katherine Heigl, you got Edward Fox, you have Joanna Lumley, Ron Perlman, Udo Kier, Warwick Davis. You know, can't go wrong, can you? It's in good shape. Cool. From Video Box Office. There we go. Prince Valiant. One for the kids. And big kids. So Finis Terre came in, and then there were 2 films I don't think I rented. What were they called? Oh, there was the Al Pacino exorcism film, The Ritual, wasn't it? Nobody's touched it. And I'm on a Dolph. I'm on a Dolph bender at the moment for reasons. So I got an Icarus, which is a fairly newish film of his. There we go. And I forget what the other one was. It was from the producers of A Quiet Place. I got a copy on Blu-ray and I got a copy on DVD. And I couldn't tell you what it was called. I'm going to have to tell you now. Let's have a look. It is called Elevation. And no one has touched it. But then again, there's also a film called Inside. Came in last week on Blu-ray with Guy Pearce. And no one's touched that. It's been a massively busy week. But, sorry, I did not order this film. Or did I? Did I order that film? I have no recollection of ordering this film. Oh, this is awkward. Dear David, I bought the enclosed DVD from Amazon not long after it came through. I took it out of its cellophane wrapper recently. Unfortunately, the disc started to stick after 12 minutes. I tried wiping it, but it made no difference, and I finished watching the film on Amazon Prime. I'm sending it to you to see if you can diagnose the problem. And whatever the outcome, it's yours to do as you wish. This was a guy who used to send me videos. And I Googled him. Yeah. let's move on from that. Weird one. The Girl King. The Girl King. Yeah, that's a story for another day. Oh dear. Weird. Weird. Next up, another Dolph. Missionary Man. Missionary Man, bit of Dolph. Can't go wrong with a bit of Dolph, you know. Had I known this was all Dolph, I probably wouldn't have opened them and made you suffer through it. Dolph Pentathlon. So apologies for just inflicting you with endless Dolph. But hey. Yeah, sticky. Oh jeez. Dolph, the Defender. Dolph, Men of War. Yeah, it's a Dolph day. It's a Dolph day. And finally, what do we got? We have rentals. This is from a customer who was quite late, but thankfully they sent them back in the mail. I think they lived quite far away, and they said they were going to come to the region sometime soon, but obviously they haven't, so they sent them in the post, which is great. So finally, those of you who are after Near Dark and Seconds will be able to get your hands on them. That's good to know. That was driving me nuts a little bit. Okay, let's scroll back 2 weeks then. Let's have a look at these comments, because some of you did put some very, very nice comments down, which was really, really nice. And I feel guilty if I don't refer to them at some point. So here we go. What do we got? So yeah, show 72 was the 30th anniversary, which is amazing, isn't it? So cool. Del Bongo said, massive congratulations, Dave. I hope Snip goes for another 30 years at least. It won't. I will not be doing this at 78 years old. Primarily because it means one of my favorite YouTube channels would probably keep going too. Yeah. But I could do this YouTube channel, when I quit. Obviously I will quit at some point. All this has got to go somewhere, so I may just redecorate the house. Do what Quentin Tarantino did with video archives. Buy the fixtures and the stock. Well, I own everything. But, and take it home and have a video store in the house. That's what I could do. So ultimately, when I give everything up and quit, I could take everything home and recreate the video store at home and do inside the video store from inside my house. Who knows? It's got potential. It's got legs. Side note, says Del Bongo, anyone with an interest in Jonathan Kaplan, who died recently, should listen to his interview with Joe Dante and Josh Olson from 2020. They just re-uploaded it to their podcast feed, The Movies That Made Me. Absolutely charming bloke. Yes, very good shout, Del Bongo. Well done. An essential listen if you can. Lee Mann, huge congratulations to 30 years of movie rentals. Here's to many, 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 many more. Chris Ward, House 2, terrible? Yep, it is. I swear it is. Even Mark, who rented it, he gave it 2 stars on Letterboxd. Although he said it was kind of funny, so he was able to endure it, but 2 stars on Letterboxd. Give us a follow on Letterboxd if you're full of pity. You can find me at Snips Movies via Letterboxd. It's good fun. I do love that app. Connor Holt, congrats on 30 years. Freddie Duncan, congratulations 30 years. Maybe time to franchise out your store. I wish there was a Snips in Belgium. I wish I was in Belgium too sometimes. But I'm happy for all those boutique labels, which gives me my cinema fix. Night of the Juggler is the next one I'm waiting for. Yeah, Night of the Juggler's just been announced, hasn't it, by the Radiance spin-off label, who are trying to harness the video store aesthetic. This whole video store aesthetic seems very trendy right now. Very interesting to see, especially from a label like Radiance, who are considered quite highbrow. I think one of Fran's mission statements for Radiance was to kind of replicate what Arrow Academy were doing. So to see them going down this rather exploitation route is quite, it's a bit unexpected, but there's money to be made with that kind of film, especially Night of the Juggler. That'll sell like hot cakes. Film Wolf, congratulations to Dave on Snips 30th. So, what did a young, fresh-faced Dave? I'm a young, fresh-faced Dave now. Heading off to uni, think what he would be doing in 2025. Did it work out how you planned? No. Next question. No, I went off to uni. I did a degree in history. I had the intention of doing a PGCE when I finished. I decided to take a year out of doing a PGCE. I ended up getting a part-time job at Blockbuster. The part-time job at Blockbuster lasted 4 months. Then I became full-time. Then I became a store manager within the first 6 months. I don't know why. And then I became a multi-site manager at Blockbuster within the first year. I had 2 branches. And it was good fun. And I did that for 5 years. And like I say, and apologies for repeating myself, I learned how to not run a video store. It was valuable. Unfortunately, because I was so young at the time, they didn't seem too interested in getting me to the next level, which was a district manager. I was only 25, too young. So I kind of whined to my dad. And I said, "Oh, can I have a job?" And he was 60 at the time. Or just coming up to 60. He'd just gone 60, sorry, 61. And he was genuinely thinking about retiring. So I thought, well, that might make sense. We could work together for a year. I could learn all the kind of nuts and bolts of here. And then obviously he could retire. Then I would take over. And it's just the way it happened. My dad would have missed work too much. So he continued to work until he was 80. And then... And we got really busy. So we kind of needed 2 of us around all the time, which was good fun. I do recommend working with your dad for 20 years. It's something that, look back on very, very fondly. Brilliant. So few people get that opportunity. Maybe so few people would want that opportunity, but I really enjoyed it. I really liked it, and I learned a great deal. And I certainly wouldn't be still here if I hadn't learned so much, because he did teach me pretty much everything with regard to profitability and accounting and things like that, and how to make money in a small business, which is no mean feat in this day and age. James Allen says, regarding the DVD box sets, yeah, this was the weird like makeup of DVD box sets. Sometimes back in the day you'd have 2 connected movies and 1 ringer. James mentioned that he had the first 2 Austin Powers movies in 1 box set and Friday After Next in the same box set, just completely random. Doesn't make sense. Terry Uller says, congratulations, Dave, what a legacy. About a year after you started, I was just leaving Choices Video. And I left that to become the assistant manager of Woolies. Maybe that puts into perspective the amount of time you've been going. Yeah, it makes me feel old. Roxy says, massive happy birthday. Thank you, Roxy. White of the Eye. Oh, we mentioned White of the Eye rented out, didn't it? White of the Eye is so cool. Only seen it once. Camel's final troubled movie, Wild Side, is wild. It is. I love Wild Side. Camel's final movie. It is quite remarkable. Really, really sad story behind it. Curtin says, happy anniversary. Wish you another 30 years of successful business. It won't be, but thank you anyway. We will. Let's try for 10. Let's try for 10. And yeah, M62 Films again mentions those quad discs of random titles. It cracked him up that they put Red Scorpion in with Frankenhooker. Yeah, completely random, completely ridiculous. And Matt says, congratulations, Dave. Snips has been a weekly ritual since discovering the shop. Not only is the shop important in relation to preserving cinema for a long time to come, but it's also a place that puts a smile on people's faces. I'm not sure if it's a smile, it might be pity. For some, maybe even a reason to leave the house. Something to look forward to. Maybe. Let's have a look. John Fish, congratulations on 30 years. You should give a prize to the first person to make it through the Camp Blood films. That's a very good idea, John Fish. Very good idea. Kyle McLaughlin says, superb, Dave. Here's to many more years. Judge Muffin has written me a very, very nice poem, which I shan't repeat, but thank you very much indeed. And good old Stephanie Crawford says, congratulations. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Yes, we are done for all the 30-year celebrations. It was very nice. It was good to have a few people in for a glass of prosecco on Friday before last. It was great. It was a really good weekend. A busy weekend. So that's fantastic. That's about it, I think. Thankfully for you. Hopefully it hasn't been too dull. It's been nice to be back in a chair. Nice to be back in familiar surroundings. I do love going to see Matty. It was great fun. But I do like the routine that we've established on a Wednesday. It's good fun. So yeah, I think that's all. Like I say, if any of you spy a copy of Good, the Bad, and the Ugly on Blu-ray, that nice chunky special edition, then please let me know. I think that's all I'm looking for at the moment. I think Redshift is the only other disc I'm after, and I think I have my eye on one of those coming up on eBay this week. So fingers crossed I can pick that up for less than the price of a kidney. We shall see. Next week, there's some really good stuff out. There's a very tasty box set from Third Window Films, and there's a whole raft of exciting Blu-ray releases from the boutiques as usual. So yeah, we shall reconvene in 7 days' time, and it'll be fun. Thank you for watching.